Hi everyone, Jared here, and today we're diving into a major tech battle that could profoundly change the way you use Apple products in Europe and here in Australia. But first I want to show you something. This is a MacBook that I bought in 2005.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC. You know, we use a lot of the same kinds of programs.
Yeah, like Microsoft Office.
But we retain a lot of what makes us us.
But you should see what this guy can do with a spreadsheet. It's insane.
Oh, shucks.
20 years later, it still works. You'll hear the startup chime in a moment. There you go. It's a bit clunky, it's a bit slow, but the fact that it still works 20 years later is quite extraordinary, particularly when we're in an era of built-in obsolescence. I can still browse the web on it, I can use most web-based applications, I can even use software that came with the computer, such as Apple's own, and third parties, such as the Microsoft Office suite, which I bought when I first bought this. So I've got basically all the functionality of a Chromebook. But the EU is seeking to change that in the name of interoperability. They want Apple's competitors to be able to access the same features that Apple provides on its products from day one. And Apple says why this might seem a good idea from 50,000 feet, it's actually having disastrous unintended consequences. Now, what are those unintended consequences? Facebook owner Meta is actually demanding unprecedented access to Apple users' Wi-Fi history. They want to know which Wi-Fi networks Apple users are logging into every day, 24/7. Now, this isn't just about where you connect to the internet. This potentially exposes where you've been, even if it's sensitive locations, such as if you've logged into a Wi-Fi network at a hotel, a courthouse, or even a fertility clinic. These are the risks, the privacy risks, that Apple are warning are just going too far and are an example of government overreach. But it doesn't stop there. Apple has also been asked to hand over the complete contents of all device notifications, and that includes your messages, emails, and even medical alerts. That's what Apple is saying is just an unacceptable privacy risk. Now, I spoke to Apple's Senior Vice President of Global Marketing, Greg Joswiak, and he said this type of data is so sensitive that Apple doesn't even have it. Why doesn't it have it? Because they don't want it in case hackers break into their network, in case rogue employees decide to have some fun with it and wreak havoc. If they don't have it, there's no risk that it will fall into the wrong hands. So what's Apple doing? Well, to date, they've actually stopped rolling out some features, such as live translation, which is now available on Apple's AirPods Pro 3 in the European Union, because it would require them giving up an API that would control the microphones that enable that live translation. And they want to do it in a way that doesn't compromise user privacy. Now, that's happening in Europe. You're probably thinking, why should we care in Australia? Well, the ACCC has been pushing for Apple to open up its ecosystem to allow competing app stores, third-party payments, and other services. Apple has argued this potentially presents the same privacy risks and threat to its just work philosophy. Like, think you get a pair of AirPods out of the box, you open them up, put them in your ear, you don't have to worry about pairing them with Bluetooth, it just happens automatically. That's the type of innovation that Apple is warning is under threat as a result of the EU, and potentially to break up its ecosystem, which the ACCC has called a walled garden. They say other countries should look to what's happened in the EU and take learnings from it before it's too late, so they can continue the innovation that they are renowned for. Now, I'm Jared Lynch. This is a big evolving story, and I'm going to keep you updated on it